Um, in the in the later 80s, when I was out in Cold Spring Harbor, New York, Vicky Gambardella, who lived next to Wally Zerbiak, and I think the Canes, across the street was the Browns, not the Brownings, but the Browns. She was, my God, she was like Susie Homemaker. She always had potpourri. It always smelled really good at Lindsay Browning's house. But anyway, the Vicky Gimmerdella's house, I used to go hang out over there. The Rusts were down the other side. I used to babysit for them later on. But in the 80s, when I was hanging out with Vicky, I had never skied before, like the sports skiing. So let's think about this. So Vicky said that they were going to go to Stowe, Stowe in Vermont, Vermont. That's the state of Vermont. The initials for the state of Vermont is VT. So they asked if I wanted to go. I had never been. I asked if it was okay if they had like lessons, like how, I mean, again, I don't even know what the sport looks like, I mean, I obviously don't have any equipment, like how would that work? Again, lots of questions, but also not even knowing, like, I don't even know what it is. Like, I don't even know what I need to ask. Like, you've been there. Like, what are the pieces that you use? Like, what does it look like? Can you, like, verbally, like, paint me a picture so at least I can, direct myself in, like, an image so I can figure out what it is that I need to ask my parents? Or better yet, could you have your parents call my parents? And let's see if my parents know what the skiing is. She said, well, right, your dad comes from Italy. I'm like, yeah. Usually people like of the or around the mountains know how to ski. I'm like, right, yeah, I don't. So anyway, long story short is, my parents said yes. Don't know how, because I don't remember them being asked, but away we went. We get to Stowe, or I remember kind of the car ride to Stowe. And then that's it. My whole memory blanks out. I don't have a memory of, I think as we were going, like I was watching like a bridge and then, I don't know, just gone. So I don't know where we wound up, how long we were gone for, who was there. I think originally they said that Stephanie Johnson and her family might be there, but again, I'm not really sure. I have no recollection of it anyway. I don't know. I mean, if I was there, it's on file somewhere. It's just not sewed into my accounting measure for being able to access it on demand, which should scare the fuck out of you, and not in like a research kind of a way, more of like a hello flagpole. Like there is a top to the flagpole. I wrote penance. Like, like the thing about writing penance is I can write you all this beautiful scenery and hand it out to the appropriate authorities when I know who they are. So this way they thwart the acts of the criminals in my immediate vicinity before they're given a chance to act. I mean, that is the essence of penance. So now why, when that's the case, would so many accountants and penance go totally unanswered? Are we still on trees with paper? Or did we move to an electronic system? Is it a combination? I don't know. I'm asking. Let's think about this. All right, and then in 6th grade, before we had the 6th grade graduation at Lloyd Harbor Elementary, where earlier we had square dance. I think, oh, right, this is Sean Harrington, not the most attractive boy in the school, asked me to go to a square dance. I didn't know what that meant. He's like they do like country music. I think they use like the word hoedown. I'm like, right, they play violins, you wear checkered shirts, I'm like, and jeans. I'm like, again, I'm just taking, like, okay, if that's what you say. But then TJ Muro, Muro, also asked me. Now, here, the thing is TJ Muro much more handsome than Sean Harrington. It's just a fact of life. And so, but I felt bad. I mean, because I'm like, well, now I said, I mean, like, what is this? I mean, this is my first dance ever. I mean, Linda and Lou are no help whatsoever. I mean, like, am I supposed to go with somebody? I mean, he asked me to go. I'm going. Does that mean, like, right? And then somebody else asked me to go. I'm like, but I'm already going. Like, Sean already asked me to go. And he's like, well, does that mean that you're only going to dance with Sean? And I'm like, I don't know. Is that, like, a thing? Like, how does that work? Like, I mean, we're in, like, what, 2nd grade, 3rd grade? I mean, you boys have to, like, explain, like, the rules to me, because this is confusing. It's the first dance. It's a square dance. I don't know what a hoedown is, a square dance is. I didn't know that checkered shirts were in. I didn't know jeans were acceptable at a dance. God forbid the ballroom, like, Nazis find out. Right, so, let's think about this. So then I think TJ Muro brought me a card with a dinosaur on it, apologizing for something. And I'm like, why are you apologizing? I mean, I feel bad if I hurt your feelings and that you think I don't want to dance with you. I just can't figure out. Nobody will talk to me about what the dance rules are. See, like, here's the thing. In a normal, like, kiddo, like, lifetime, none of this shit matters. It really doesn't. But when your life is a CDC classified matter, where everything you do, say, or every action you make has some counterbalance reaction, you're supposed to be free form and make it straight and narrow and easy via the penance department to help you out so you get to wherever you need to go. But the problem is, if there's nobody contributing, like, they might be contributing to the scenery, making the square dance happen, so this way we have an offset to the ballroom dancing part, whatever. Great, okay, so you made a beautiful scene for yourselves, and, like, we participated, but nobody comes and talks to the kiddo to inform her what's going on with penance department and their success ratio, and is anything going on in the world I should know about? Older people, older folks, who do I ask? Which ones of these parents are, like, honest, trustworthy, reliable, and knows that I'm in free form, and some of them are holding a Thanksgiving Day string, but I gotta watch out for the ones that keep knocking the good people over to steal the string in, like, some whatever attempt. I mean, you humans are really, like, hard to deal with. And then try to explain this to, like, people outside of Crazy Town. Like, in, like, I would say Romerville, but, like, honestly, like, Jason would think it's crazy. But you know who really caught on quick? The criminal, Jennifer. Oh, Jennifer. Right. I don't know, Jennifer Roemer. Then there was Moeller. She's March. Let's think about this. There was 3, like, birthdays in March. Haley's, nobody gives a shit, of the 5th, I think. Then there was Jennifer's, I think it was the 12th. And then it was Sue's and Bailey Roemer. who's the 18th. Apparently in the Roemer household, you had to celebrate all three of them like they were fucking queens of the Nile, while denying everything. In fact, I actually really fucking hated Jennifer. I really don't make this kind of a mention about anybody, but she really sticks out in the fucking thorn bush of let's make mention of things that if they disappeared tonight, nobody would fucking care and the world would be better off. Bingo! She wins the prize. There's something that went on right before she got married in January of 99, before I got pregnant with Benjamin. Don't know what that was about. Jason or Jennifer broke a chair over Jason's head or something. I don't know. I couldn't get a straight story out of any of them. Then they went to go replace their countertops with some green Korean whatever in Nobody Gives a Shitville, and it comes out like this disgusting Kelly green, like, oh, you paid how much for the, oh my God, it's like, right, anyway, and then let's think about this, right? Then there was like this weird stuff with Pete. Like I could never figure out because he drank a lot and then he would hit on you and you were like, okay, no, this is creepy. Like I gotta walk away for a minute, right? And that's my ex-father-in-law, who apparently took a leash to a whole nother level. Bought some Disney club, like club fantasy, whatever, where timeshare. He was buying Bose, B-O-S-E, stereo systems. They were doing Tupperware parties. Jen and Sue were going to yoga classes, and they were going to, like, art studio design party things. And I'm just, like, together as daughters and mothers. And I'm like, yeah, my mom and I don't do that. You've recorded that for me, so thanks. It's on official record. So let's think about this. So Jen got mad I got pregnant first. It was really fucking weird because I'm like, I didn't know we were in a competition. Then it became that, right, she was ignoring me through the whole wedding. So I ignored her through her whole pregnancy. Everybody's like, oh, Jen's having a baby! Right? I mean, nobody gives a shit. Like, really, I couldn't. I mean, it was like they put the crown on Jen. And then, for some reason, Pete and Sue decided to make a spectacle out of me for ignoring the piece of shit Jennifer her entire pregnancy. And after the baby was born, I was like, I'm not acknowledging this kid on your deathbed. So anyway, so they made a big stink that I was going to be a big problem in the future of the family for not acknowledging the fucking beast of Barden, being Haley Moeller, the one that I really couldn't give two shits less about, along with all the rest. And, and then like they made me apologize to Jen. And I'm like, I'm not apologizing to her. And then my mother physically, when I say I'm living with my mother now. Jason, myself, and Benjamin are living in my mother's house because I have no money. I have no man to support me. And now I'm fucking tied to the piece of shit assholes from yesteryear's war, playing some Tupperware party and like Mary Kay with like girls and like, oh, in some contest, I don't even know what's fucking going on. So whatever. So my mother threatens to kick Jason, me, and the baby out of the house. Comes at me physically that I'm embarrassing her, making her look bad. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I made a deal with my devil, being my mother, the fucking asshole that she is, and I went and I apologized to be the bigger person so I didn't get fucking kicked out of my house where I was living. Unlike Jennifer, she got some house from some grandma who left her a Massapequa house. I mean, like, it is so fucking night and day. And, like, this isn't jealousy. This is CDC charges. Like, there's no woman on the planet that fucking sits higher than I do. Not one. Not Jennifer, for sure. But it does add up a lot of death and cancer and all sorts of things for the good people of New York State, Long Island, and the rest of the planet, Pete. Every day your fucking piece of shit family was in my impact zone without permission from me or from the fucking committee that was trying to like cut your arm off to get you to let go of my fucking Thanksgiving Day string that you didn't deserve.